Imagine waking up so mentally exhausted that even getting out of bed feels like lifting 100 pounds. But you still force yourself to go to work because missing a day means losing pay you can't afford to lose. This is the reality for millions of Americans who struggle silently with anxiety, depression, burnout, and chronic stress. Mental health challenges affect nearly 1 in 5 U.S. adults each year, yet our workplace policies haven't caught up. While sick days for physical illness are common, mental health days are still treated as optional, questionable, and even lazy. But ignoring them doesn't make the problem go away. It just pushes it deeper until it affects families, communities, and workplaces. I've researched this issue using sources like the American Psychological Association, Forbes Health, and the World Health Organization, and I've also experienced the impact of mental fatigue personally and through people close to me. I understand how mental health struggles can affect everyday functioning. Today, I want to persuade you that the United States should guarantee paid mental health work days as a necessity benefit for workers nationwide. To show this, I'll explain how mental health struggles already affect workplace productivity and in the U.S. economy, how paid mental health days reduce burnout and improve long-term employee well-being, how the U.S. is falling behind other nations, and why adopting mental health responsive policies is both overdue and beneficial. Let's begin by looking at the impact of mental health struggles that are already going on in the society, because the problem is bigger than most people realize. Mental health struggles in the U.S. significantly reduce productivity and cost billions in labor each year. According to Forbes Health, U.S. employers lose over $187 billion annually due to untreated depression, anxiety, and stress-related burnout. Workers experience burnout are more likely to make errors, have difficulty concentrating, miss deadlines, or show up physically but not mentally, a phenomenon called pristine. The American Psychological Association reports that 77% of workers experience work-related stress regularly, and nearly half says that it affects their productivity. If mental health struggles already cost the economy billions, ignoring them isn't saving money, it's wasting money. Paid mental health days would allow employees to address issues early, preventing long-term disability claims, turnover, and chronic burnout. For an opportunal audience, the worries about cost, the reality is we are already paying far more for doing nothing. So now that we understand the financial and human impact of ignoring mental health, let's talk about what happens in workplaces that actually support it. Paid mental health days reduce burnout, improve employee performance, and strengthen workplace culture. Research that is done from the National Alliance of Mental Health shows that employees with access to mental health accommodations, including mental health days, report higher job satisfaction, better focus, and longer employment retention. Even one paid mental health day each month can significantly reduce anxiety, chronic stress, and emotional exhaustion. When workers feel supported, they are more engaged and productive. This supports the thesis because a mentally healthier workforce is more stable, committed, and an effective workforce. Opponents will argue people will abuse mental health days, but the data contrasts that fear in workplace where mental health days exist remain appropriate and beneficial. For those worried about fairness and productivity, mental health days actually encourage employees to stay instead of burning them out and then quitting. we've looked at the impacts of individuals in the workplace. Let's zoom out and look at how the U.S. compares to the rest of the world. The U.S. lags behind other nations in guaranteeing mental health centered time off, making it essential that we adopt updated standards. According to the World Health Organizations, countries like the UK, Canada, Australia, and several EU nations have already recognized mental health as a valid medical reason for paid leave. Some even require employers to offer dedicated mental health days. These policies correlate with lower national burnout-related workforces. Meanwhile, the U.S. remains the only major developed nation with no federally guaranteed paid sick leave at all, let alone mental health specific days. This matters because if so many successful nations have embraced mental health policies and seen positive outcomes, the U.S. has no meaningful reason to remain behind. For an audience worried about change, these countries are real world examples showing that it's not a risky idea, it's a proven one. But as we look at the financial costs, the human costs, and the international comparison, it becomes clear that paid mental health days are not a luxury, they're a necessity. In conclusion, the United States should guarantee paid mental health days for all workers because they are essential for economic stability, personal well-being, and modern workplace expectations. First, we learned about mental health struggles already cost billions in productivity each year, followed by paid mental health days, reducing burnout and improving employee performance. Third, we discovered that the U.S. is falling behind other countries that have already proven mental health-centered paid leave. Mental health isn't something we can push through or ignore, and neither should our policies. If we truly value hard work, families, community, well-being, then supporting mental health isn't optional. It's time we give people the days they need to take care of the minds they depend on every day.